You're an asshole. You are. You are. You are. You are. You are. No, you are. You are. You are. What is up, everyone? We're back again with another review, and this is going to be for the Netflix original Malcolm and Marie, and it's directed by Sam Levinson and stars John David Washington and Zendaya. Now, this tells the story of a film director and his partner who come home from the premiere of his movie and await the critics' response, and while they do, tensions start to rise between the couple. Now, this is not a film that you see every day, just two characters in a house arguing for 1 hour 45 minutes of runtime. You won't be mistaken by thinking that this movie is not for everyone. Now, because there is only two cast members in Malcolm and Marie, I do believe that this movie has to have two things going for it in order to work. And that is great acting and fantastic dialogue. And I'm happy to say that we do get both here. John David Washington and Zendaya give off great performances. I mean, they really gel together on screen. You believe that this couple were in a relationship for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just, because this was filmed in a pandemic, if they had just locked themselves in a house for months on end before this to drive each other crazy, because that's what it felt like. It felt like they were a real couple, and it just worked so well. The both of them were fantastic in this movie. Now, like I said, this movie does have some really great dialogue. It's very well thought out, and you have to kind of imagine the events prior to these two coming home, because they've just gone to a movie premiere and an after party, and you just have to build a picture up in your head of the information we are given by these two. Kind of like the movie Reservoir Dogs, where you have to think about the heist because you don't actually see it. That's the best example I can give here. And I was very impressed the way John David Washington and Zendaya landed their lines here. There's some great monologues and stuff and little mini speeches going on. It was all very well done. It's not just the night that they just had that they refer to. By the end of the movie, I feel like I knew both of these characters' lives, because they talk about past events way before the night they just had and stuff. And it takes some doing to do that, you know. They got their point across really well, and the script just worked for the most part. I was also switching back and forth between the two. I mean, Marie would talk really badly to Malcolm, and then Malcolm would go into the room and just tell her straight. And I'd be like, oh girl, you just got told there. But then Marie would walk into the room and just say a totally different side of the story. And I was like, well, I didn't see it from that point of view. Maybe I'm on her side now. And it was just an interesting little way of viewing the movie from an audience member's point of view. They also go into love-hate moods as well. I mean, 1 minute they'll be screaming the house down and yelling at each other. And the next minute they'll be telling the other person how much they love them. And I thought it was a great fiat for these two to just jump in and out of their moods. You know, you really did feel like they were in love, but they also just hated each other at times. And like I said, both of them really good performances, and that just worked really well. Malcolm and Marie is also really nicely shot. Now, this is in black and white, and I think that's a very good thing, because I don't think I would have been half as invested as I was if this was in colour. So it just worked from a visual point of view. And Sam Levinson also has some really nice shots here as well. I mean, the way he moves the camera and finds some nice angles. It was beautiful to look at times, I'm not going to lie. Also, Zendaya as Marie just stood out here. I mean, she jumped out the screen. She looked awesome. I mean, the costume design and makeup was just totally spot on. And she looked like a superstar. A very unique look that just worked so well. The soundtrack is pretty good too. It just kicks off with this James Brown song that John David Washington performs this great dance to, in all fairness. But the tunes don't stop there. They carry on throughout the film, and I was really impressed. I mean, I was playing the songs after the movie had finished. However, over the course of Malcolm and Marie, I started to become less and less invested, because it just felt like tit-for-tat arguments that no one was going to win, and I hated the both of these characters by the end of the movie. It just became very tiresome. And even though these mini speeches and monologues are nailed down really well until its finale, just started to feel very repetitive. And this movie does suffer from its runtime. I mean, I think 70 minutes probably would have been perfect for this film and would have ended on a much better note. But this started getting tiresome around the 60-minute mark, and it's almost 2 hours, and it becomes a bit of a problem. Also, there's one scene where Marie and Malcolm are getting a little bit frisky on the bedroom floor, and Marie is just doing this voiceover. But there's so many cuts that it's like skipping moments in the scene, and it just didn't feel well edited at all. I mean, that scene just did not work for me, and it felt totally out of place. And just as a side note, I don't know many people who come home and make mac and cheese after a heavy night out on alcohol. What happened to just putting a pizza in the oven? It's a couple of weird. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give Malcolm and Marie a 7 out of 10. This has a very good script in all fairness, great performances, and visually looks stunning. And it's all very art-housey, but art-housey doesn't exactly automatically make your movie great. But it was a decent enough time. There's a lot to like here. It just loses steam towards the end. Okay, at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for Malcolm and Marie is that Malcolm here sometimes refers to a critic who keeps comparing him to Spike Lee, and John David Washington in real life has worked with Spike Lee on more than one occasion in Malcolm X and Black Klansman. Okay guys, hope you all enjoyed this review. If you want to subscribe, it's up to yourself. Got lots more reviews coming, lots more videos, and if you want to comment about Malcolm and Marie, leave it down below and I'll reply to every single one of you, I promise. Take it all easy guys. I'll see you all in the next video.